I'm about to show you how airlines and airports systematically discriminate against travelers over 55, why say random selections target our age group, and how boarding policies force us into expensive upgrades while younger passengers get the deals. Plus, I'll reveal the 4 airline alternatives that still treat mature travelers with respect and the booking strategies that level the playing field. If you're over from dreading your next flight, this could transform how you travel. Last month, arriving at the airport for what should have been a routine flight to visit my grandchildren, I experienced the full reality of how modern air travel systematically excludes people our age. At 64, with a knee replacement and normal travel needs, I discovered that every aspect of the airport experience, from check-in to boarding, has been redesigned to frustrate, rush, and extract extra money from travelers who can't keep up with 20-something tech natives sprinting through terminals. The discrimination starts before you even reach the airport. Airlines have moved almost all services to mobile apps, eliminating human interaction and telephone booking options. The savings from app-only bookings aren't available to people who prefer speaking to humans or struggle with tiny app interfaces. These digital-only deals can save $200+ per ticket, creating a 2-tier system where tech-savvy younger travelers get discounts while mature travelers pay premium prices for the same seats. Before I expose the systematic age discrimination I've documented across dozens of airports, let me be clear. Air travel affects everyone, and these problems impact passengers of all ages. But if you're over 55 and have noticed that flying has become increasingly difficult, expensive, and stressful, you need to understand that this isn't accidental. Hit that subscribe button if you want honest analysis of how the travel industry really works, not corporate talking points designed to hide discriminatory practices. These observations come from my extensive travel experience and research with fellow travelers over 55. Your experience may be different depending on your physical abilities, tech comfort, and travel patterns. Many people navigate airports successfully at any age. But the systematic barriers I'm describing are real, documented, and getting worse each year. TSA security procedures disproportionately target older travelers through policies that appear neutral but have discriminatory effects. The random additional screening isn't random. It triggers based on factors including age, medical devices, and mobility aids. Passengers with joint replacements, pacemakers, or prescription medications face automatic additional screening that can add 30-90 minutes to security processing. The TSA PreCheck program helps, but costs $78 and requires tech navigation that excludes many mature travelers. My friend Helen, 67, discovered this targeting when her insulin pump triggered additional screening on every flight for 6 months. TSA agents seemed unfamiliar with medical devices, requiring her to explain diabetes management repeatedly while holding up security lines. The stress of this experience caused her blood sugar to spike, creating the very medical emergency the screening was supposedly preventing. She eventually stopped flying to visit her children because the security harassment wasn't worth the family time. The medical equipment harassment extends beyond security into airline policies. Mobility aids like wheelchairs and walkers face increasing restrictions and fees. Airlines charge $100+ each way for checking medical equipment that used to fly free. Battery-powered devices face complex restrictions that change frequently, leaving passengers unsure whether their equipment will be accepted. The promised gate check service for mobility aids often results in damaged equipment or devices lost for hours. Airport design has systematically eliminated seating and rest areas to keep passenger traffic moving. Modern terminals feature standing height tables instead of chairs, forcing tired travelers to remain standing while waiting for flights. The few remaining chairs are clustered around expensive restaurants, requiring food purchases for seating access. Gate areas provide minimal seating that fills quickly, leaving late-arriving passengers standing for hours. The walking distances in modern airports have tripled since the 90s. Major hubs like Denver, Atlanta, and LAX require walks of over a mile between connections. Moving walkways are frequently broken or under maintenance. The few wheelchairs available for airport assistance face 45 to 60-minute wait times, often longer than connection times. Passengers who can walk but have stamina limitations find themselves trapped between gates they can't reach and assistance they can't access. Terminal services have moved to self-service kiosks that assume tech fluency and perfect vision. Check-in kiosks feature small screens, complicated interfaces, and time limits that don't accommodate slower processing speeds. Customer service counters charge $25 to $50 fees for services that were previously free, like printing boarding passes or changing seats. The human agents who remain are often undertrained and lack authority to solve problems, creating multiple handoffs for simple issues. Boarding procedures have become hostile environments for anyone who can't move quickly. Airlines board passengers based on loyalty status and seat purchases, creating a system where younger business travelers board first while mature travelers wait in increasingly crowded gate areas. The priority boarding that older passengers need most costs $150 extra per flight. Once boarding begins, the rush to enter creates dangerous crowding and pushing that can knock over unsteady passengers. The overhead bin situation has become a competitive scramble that favors aggressive younger passengers. Carry-on restrictions force passengers to lift heavy bags overhead quickly or risk gate checking at additional cost. Flight attendants rarely assist with lifting, citing liability concerns. Passengers who pack medications or valuables in carry-ons face the choice between risking injury lifting bags or losing essential items to check their baggage. Airline staff training has eliminated courtesy and patience from customer interactions. Flight attendants are trained to move passengers quickly rather than provide assistance. Gate agents work under time pressures that eliminate personalized service. The few customer service representatives available are overwhelmed and lack decision-making authority. Complaints about age-related discrimination are dismissed as federal regulations without explanation or alternatives. But the discrimination gets worse once you're actually on the plane. Wait until you hear about the seat scams and medical emergency policies that specifically target mature travelers. Aircraft design has evolved to maximize profits while minimizing comfort for anyone with physical limitations. Seat width has decreased by 2 to 3 inches since the 90s, while legroom has shrunk to levels that make it impossible for many people our age to sit comfortably. The seats that provide adequate space for mature passengers, exit rows, bulkhead seats, and premium economy now cost $7,200 extra per flight, forcing older travelers to choose between physical comfort and financial strain. The bathroom accessibility on modern aircraft creates genuine health emergencies for travelers with mobility issues. Airplane lavatories have shrunk to accommodate more seats, making them impossible to navigate for anyone using mobility aids or dealing with joint stiffness. The narrow aisles leading to bathrooms create bottlenecks that embarrass passengers who move slowly. Flight attendants are trained to keep aisles clear for service, often asking slower-moving passengers to remain seated when they need bathroom access. In-flight medical emergencies reveal how unprepared airlines are for older passengers' health needs. Flight crews receive basic medical training focused on dramatic emergencies like heart attacks, but lack knowledge about managing chronic conditions that affect mature travelers. Prescription medication storage becomes problematic on long flights when medications require refrigeration or specific timing that doesn't align with meal service schedules. The airline's liability protection strategies actively work against passengers experiencing health issues. When medical emergencies occur, crews prioritize documentation for legal protection over passenger care. The decision to divert flights for medical emergencies factors in airline costs rather than passenger need, often delaying necessary care. Travel insurance rarely covers medical diversions, leaving passengers with bills that can reach $3,000 for emergency landings and ambulance transport. Connection logistics have become impossible for anyone who can't sprint between gates. Airlines schedule connection times based on the assumption that passengers can walk quickly and navigate terminals efficiently. Minimum connection times don't account for mobility limitations, baggage collection delays, or the reality that older passengers often need bathroom breaks and rest periods. Missing connections due to mobility limitations isn't considered an airline's responsibility, forcing passengers to buy new tickets at premium prices. The rebooking process penalizes passengers who miss flights due to medical issues or mobility challenges. Airlines classify these situations as passenger-caused delays, rather than accommodation failures, avoiding responsibility for rebooking costs. The complex phone systems for rebooking assume tech fluency and can take hours to navigate. Change fees add hundreds of dollars to rebooking costs, turning minor delays into major financial burdens. Frequent flyer programs have restructured to reward high-spending business travelers while excluding the loyalty of long-term mature passengers. Elite status requirements now focus on annual spending rather than flight frequency, meaning retired travelers who fly regularly but choose economy seating lose benefits they have earned over decades. The perks that matter most to older travelers, priority boarding, seat selection, and customer service access, are now reserved for the highest spending tiers. Airport lounge access has shifted from age-based courtesy to pure profit extraction. Airlines eliminated complimentary lounge access for senior passengers while raising day pass prices to $50 and $75. The lounges that remain accessible often lack the quiet environment and comfortable seating that older travelers need. Food options cater to business travelers' schedules rather than dietary needs of mature passengers taking medications. Technology barriers extend beyond apps into every aspect of air travel. Entertainment systems require smartphone downloads and complicated interfaces. Wi-Fi setup assumes familiarity with multiple password processes. Even basic services like flight updates require app installations and notification management that overwhelm passengers who just want simple information about departure times and gate changes. The baggage policies discriminate against passengers who pack medical equipment and essential medications. Weight limits don't account for the reality that older travelers often need more clothing layers, medical supplies, and comfort items for safe travel. Overweight fees start at $100 and increase dramatically, forcing choices between essential items and budget constraints. Lost baggage procedures assume passengers can survive days without medications and medical equipment. Ground transportation at destination airports has eliminated services that mature travelers relied on. Shuttleless services to hotels have largely disappeared, replaced by ride-sharing apps that require smartphone skills. Taxi stands have moved to remote locations requiring additional walking or shuttle rides. Rental car counters are often located in separate buildings requiring bus transfers with heavy luggage. The complaint and resolution process has been designed to discourage follow-through from frustrated passengers. Airlines require online complaint forms that time out quickly and don't save progress. Phone complaint lines feature hold times that exceed an hour with frequent disconnections. Written complaints receive form letter responses that don't address specific issues. The Department of Transportation complaint process is so complex that most passengers abandon their claims rather than navigate the bureaucracy. International travel adds layers of discrimination that specifically target older passengers. Immigration lines lack seating for waits that can exceed 2 hours. Customs forms require tiny handwriting and complex instructions that aren't explained clearly. Language barriers affect older travelers disproportionately since translation apps require smartphone skills that many mature passengers lack. The scheduling patterns of modern airlines create particular hardships for travelers over 55. Red-eye flights dominate cost-effective options, but older passengers often struggle with sleep disruption and circadian rhythm changes. Early morning departures require pre-dawn airport arrival when ground transportation is limited and expensive. Weekend flight reductions mean that flexible scheduling options disappear precisely when retired travelers have the most freedom to adjust their plans. Here's where this story improves dramatically. I've discovered airlines and booking strategies that still treat mature travelers with respect, plus alternatives that eliminate these problems entirely. After experiencing systematic discrimination across major airlines, I discovered carriers that still prioritize service over profit extraction from vulnerable passengers. Southwest Airlines maintains many passenger-friendly policies that benefit mature travelers. No change fees, free checked bags, and boarding procedures that don't require standing in lines. Their customer service representatives still have authority to solve problems, and their gate agents receive training in assisting passengers with mobility needs. Alaska Airlines has retained courtesy services that other carriers eliminated, including complimentary seat selection and customer service that answers phones within reasonable time frames. Their frequent flyer program rewards flight frequency rather than just spending, recognizing the loyalty of passengers who may fly regularly but choose economy seating. The airline's partnership with medical equipment companies ensures that mobility aids receive proper handling and priority return. Drop a comment below sharing your worst airport experience, the specific airlines and airports that treated you poorly. Your stories create patterns that help other mature travelers avoid problem carriers and choose airlines that still provide decent service. Regional airports often provide dramatically better experiences than major hubs, eliminating the worst aspects of modern air travel while maintaining convenient connections. Airports like Burbank, Long Beach, and Midway offer shorter walking distances, faster security processing, and customer service representatives who aren't overwhelmed by massive passenger volumes. These airports maintain the human-scale service that made flying pleasant before the industry prioritized efficiency over passenger comfort. Train travel has reemerged as a superior alternative for routes where Amtrak provides competitive service. The Northeast Corridor trains offer faster downtown-to-downtown travel than flying when airport time is included. Passengers can walk around freely, access real bathrooms, and carry unlimited personal items without baggage fees. Medical emergencies can be handled at the next station rather than requiring aircraft diversions. Amtrak's accommodations for mature travelers surpass airline offerings in every category. Business class seating provides actual legroom and workspace. Quiet cars eliminate the noise pollution that makes air travel exhausting. Dining cars serve real food rather than processed airline meals. The boarding process eliminates security theater while maintaining safety through less invasive procedures. The cost comparison between trains and airlines often favors rail travel when hidden airline fees are included. Train tickets include baggage handling, seat selection, and change flexibility that airlines charge extra for. The time savings from avoiding airport security and boarding procedures can offset longer travel time, especially for routes under 500 miles. Charter flight services have become surprisingly accessible for small groups of mature travelers willing to share costs. Companies like JSX and Surf Air offer scheduled flights with simplified boarding and private terminals that eliminate airport crowds. The per-passenger cost often equals first-class airline tickets while providing exponentially better service and convenience. Private charter advantages extend beyond comfort into safety and medical preparedness. Charter operators can accommodate medical equipment without bureaucratic hassles. Flight schedules adjust to passenger needs rather than forcing passengers to adapt to airline requirements. Emergency medical diversions happen quickly without complex airline approval processes. Cruise ship repositioning flights offer an alternative to traditional air travel for seasonal destination changes. These one-way cruises move ships between summer and winter routes, providing ocean transportation at prices competitive with airfare. Passengers avoid airport hassles entirely while enjoying cruise amenities during travel days. For travelers willing to plan ahead, cargo ship passenger services provide ocean crossing experiences that eliminate airport discrimination while offering unique travel adventures. These services carry 2 to 12 passengers on working cargo vessels, providing private accommodations and meals while crossing oceans at costs comparable to business class airfare. Bus travel has evolved beyond the stereotypical Greyhound experience into luxury coach services that rival airline comfort while eliminating airport hassles. Companies like Megabus and Flixbus offer Wi-Fi, power outlets, and bathroom facilities during travel. Boarding requires no security screening, and passenger assistance is provided by drivers who aren't rushing to maintain flight schedules. The booking strategies that work for mature travelers require understanding how airline pricing algorithms discriminate by age and technology use. Booking through travel agents often provides better customer service and problem resolution than online booking. Travel agents maintain relationships with airline customer service supervisors and can resolve issues that overwhelm individual passengers navigating phone systems. Group booking through senior organizations and travel clubs provides leverage that individual passengers lack. Organizations like Road Scholar and Elder Hostel negotiate directly with airlines for group rates and enhanced services. These bookings often include customer service representatives who accompany groups and advocate for passengers when problems arise. Travel insurance, specifically designed for mature travelers, addresses the gaps in standard policies that leave older passengers vulnerable to discrimination-related costs. These policies cover medical equipment delays, medication replacement, and accessibility accommodation failures that standard travel insurance excludes. The additional cost often saves money by preventing situations where passengers must buy new tickets or accommodations due to airline failures. The timing strategies that work for mature travelers involve understanding airline operational patterns rather than just seeking low prices. Tuesday and Wednesday flights operate with less crowded terminals and more available customer service. Morning flights reduce the risk of cascading delays that affect later flights. Seasonal timing avoids peak travel periods when airline staff are overwhelmed and passenger assistance becomes impossible. My personal transformation came when I stopped trying to adapt to airline discrimination and started choosing travel methods that respect mature passengers. A train trip from Chicago to Seattle cost less than flying while providing comfortable seating, real meals, and the ability to move around freely. The scenery surpassed anything visible from airplane windows, and the station services eliminated the stress of airport navigation. The friends who've switched from airlines to alternative transportation share consistent observations about reduced travel stress and improved experiences. Train stations provide human-scale customer service rather than overwhelming automation. Bus terminals offer straightforward boarding without complex procedures. Cruise terminals handle luggage and passenger assistance as standard service rather than expensive extras. Medical considerations should drive transportation choices for travelers over 55. Air travel's pressurized environment affects circulation and medication absorption in ways that can worsen health conditions. Ground transportation eliminates altitude-related health complications while providing access to medical care at regular intervals during long journeys. The ultimate lesson from my air travel research is that airlines have deliberately chosen to extract maximum profit from a captive market while eliminating services that don't generate revenue. The result is transportation that actively discriminates against anyone who can't adapt to their efficiency-maximizing procedures. Mature travelers have alternatives that provide better experiences at competitive prices. Before booking your next flight, honestly assess whether airline travel serves your actual needs or just seems like the expected choice. Can you navigate airports efficiently with your current mobility? Do you understand the technology requirements for check-in and boarding? Can your budget absorb the hidden fees and potential emergency costs? If any answer creates doubt, the alternatives I've described offer better solutions. Subscribe if this analysis changed how you think about air travel, and remember, you deserve transportation that treats you with dignity rather than viewing you as a profit extraction opportunity. The travel industry wants mature travelers to believe airlines are the only practical option for long-distance travel. The reality is that better alternatives exist. Trains, buses, ships, and smaller airlines that provide superior comfort, service, and respect while often costing less than major airline travel. Your travel should enhance your life, not subject you to systematic discrimination disguised as operational efficiency.